Hey guys, it's Amber. So today I am ready for another anti-haul, so I hope you are too. If you guys aren't already following me on my social media, I'll put all my handles right here so you guys can check me out on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, basically anywhere you'd want to follow me. I've gotcha. So before we begin, if you haven't seen my anti-hauls, I'll give you a little background on how I do them. If you guys are already really familiar with me and my anti-hauls, I will give you a timestamp here, which will show you where you can just skip on over to where the products begin. So first of all, anti-haul and what I am using instead was an original idea that I came up with several years ago and have sprinkled it throughout my channel ever since. It is a little different than the anti-haul idea that has been more widespread and popular on YouTube. I just want to give you guys a little bit of background information so you can understand how my kind of anti-hauls work. So this isn't necessarily going to be product bashing or company bashing just for the sake of it. This is the way that I self-check myself when a new release comes out and I'm like totally dying over it, totally loving it. It's a way to ask myself, do I really need this? Now, I love to buy makeup. I shop, I have hauls on my channel. I'm not against purchasing makeup, especially if it's something you love and you're passionate about and you have the money for it, go right ahead. I know companies are repackaging the same types of products. They are bringing out subpar products. They are bringing out things that are exactly the same as what you've had before. And so this is my way of going through that and saying, do I really need this? Is this something I've already purchased? And if I really want this and I see a look with it, what can I use from my stash that I already have to create this look instead? So when you see your favorite beauty influencers making a look with a brand new palette, you can think, you know what? I probably can do that on my own with the things that I already own and it'll save me a ton of money. Now, these are not going to be exact same palettes. They're not exact as far as quality or, I mean, there's no way that I can compare Natasha Denona to like a CoverGirl palette. I mean, I understand they're totally different qualities, different ballparks, and there may be some of the products that I mentioned that are totally worth the money. But this is the way that I like to save money because I really like to buy affordable makeup. I like to buy makeup on a budget. So if something's over $20, I really have to think about it. I'm like, how much do I really want this? And do I have something that's already like this, or is it something that's going to fill a hole in my collection and bring something new and exciting to what I have to play with every day? So I like to pick out things and then I go through and find out what I feel like is the closest, and sometimes I have something and sometimes I don't. And sometimes the products, once I start looking at it more and more, I'm like, you know what? I don't think this will work for me. Maybe I don't like it as much. So some of them I love, some of them I like, some of them I don't like, but all together I just call it my anti-haul. So I asked you guys on the community tab if you wanted to see an anti-haul for Sephora VIB, because you guys know that's going on right now, or if you want to see a regular one. And most of you said a regular one, but I did have quite a bit of interest in the Sephora VIB, so I'm just going to do both. So I'm going to start out with things from Sephora. Now, Sephora VIB, if you guys aren't aware of it, it's a twice-a-year sale. Sometimes it's 15%, 10%, 20%. They do different percentages for how much you've spent during the year, and you're able to get your favorite beauty products, whatever you want, for the discount. Now, this is a great time to stock up on your favorite foundation, something you've been eyeing, you know, use a gift card, blah, 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 blah. But it's kind of ridiculous when I haul something and I'm like hauling something for $50 or less. I'm like, whoa, girl, I spent $50. That was a lot of money. And then I look at Sephora hauls and I'm all, she just spent like $1,000. Like, to me, that's just like, wow. And so what it starts doing to us is we feel kind of like, why, I wish I had $1,000 to spend on money. And if you don't, I'm right there with you. I love to buy makeup, but I do not have $1,000 to spend on makeup. It's just not practical for me. I just can't drop that in one sitting, you know? So if you are getting total FOMO or whatever it's called these days about all these hauls, I'm here for you. And we're going to share this together and we're going to talk about things that maybe we'd want, but we're not going to buy. So let's get started. First off is the Sephora holographic palette. Now, I feel like holographic is such a clickbait. I feel like every company is slapping holographic on anything just because they're like, oh, holo, everyone's gonna buy it. But honestly, not very many of these products are holographic. Some of them are duochrome, some of them are even like triple chrome. I don't know what that's really called. Tell me down below what it's called. But to be holographic is very specific, and for those who are very into holo, there is a very specific definition of what holo is. Now, I'm not a holo expert, but I'm pretty sure these are not holographic. You've got some transforming shades, some blush shades, Here's some swatches of what they look like. I don't think they're holographic, but they do have that pastel, fun, festival vibe to them. And recently I did purchase off Shop Hush this Unicorn Glow palette. Now this was like $10, so you know, that one's $28, this one's like $9 or $10, so a lot more affordable. But the bottom line is it's something that I already own. If you guys look through your collection, duochrome and that kind of thing has been very popular for the last few years. So there might be something you already own that is going to fit the bill. You know, looking at this comparative, I think this will totally work instead. And I don't have to spend $28 getting the new trend because I literally just bought this anyway. So haul and anti-haul. All right, next is the Smashbox Cover Shot Pink and Palms. This is $29. So here's the thing. I think this palette is beautiful. I love the concept of this. I love that really pale turquoise with the pinks. And this one was probably one of the hardest ones to dupe in my collection. And you know, for $29, it's not totally like, oh my gosh, breaking the bank like some of these are. But again, it's like, do I have pink? Yes. Do I have some turquoise? Yes. I do like the collection. I like that they're kind of reaching out and bringing out something different than just neutrals. So I will give them that. But when I started looking and thinking, what do I have that could potentially take this place? I thought of a couple things. I didn't know if I just had like one created palette that fit the bill. So I went to my singles. Now I have some singles from Mirabella that I keep in these little palettes here, and I definitely have this pinky purple vibe going on. I have some more lighter pinks in this one, and then I've got that, this is the closest shade I have right here is to that light teal. And then for something that's a little bit more well-known, I think I just played Jenga with my palettes. For something that's a little more well-known on YouTube, I have my Coastal Scents Hot Pots. Now, if you cover up this whole neutral section, you've got that nice pinky turquoise thing going on. These are like $1.99, so they're super affordable, and best of all, I already own them. All right, next, I've seen some very, very beautiful looks with this palette, and you know, Anastasia Beverly Hills, she knows what she's doing. The Soft Glam palette is amazing. You know, I'm looking at this in the pinks and the sparkly golds, and there's a lot of new neutrals, and I'm like, what do I have that fits the bill? And I thought, you know, with a lot of palettes you get, I've heard a lot of people talk about this, the pop effect, and Jaclyn Hill palette is one of those that is guilty for that. You look at this, you're like, oh my gosh, it's so colorful, but you know, if you cover up this, you're like, well, basically it's just a neutral palette. So if you cover up all of this, it's really, you got pinky, shimmeries, warm tones, peaches. So I think I could probably get a pretty dang similar look out of this instead of the ABH Soft Glam. You know, I think I should really start trying to do that more. Like, see what I have, anti-haul it, and then see what look I can create. So by passing on this palette, you're saving yourself another $42. All right, next, this has also been all over social media, and the whole like squirting on the shoulder thing. If you guys have seen that parody thing of the men who are like squirting things on them, it's freaking hilarious. But if you haven't, just Google Fenty whatever body lava and it'll probably come up. But this is quite expensive. It's $59, and I'm sure there's people who are like, girl, it's so worth it, it's so worth it. I love that they had like on their webpage, it was really beautifully done. They had this gorgeous model with this deep skin, and she had the darker shade, the more golden shade on, and I mean, she looked amazing. And then they had more of a medium to tan shade model, and she had the lighter shade on, and I was like, I mean, you look at that and you're like, girl, I'm sold. That looks amazing. But I was like, what do I have that would kind of give me that feeling? And I actually haven't even used this. I got this in a BoxyCharm. This is the Ofra Body Illuminizer. So this is supposed to be for like, you know, a night out, putting it on the legs. So it's probably not quite as shimmery and stunning, but it still gives me that little glow. So if you wanted to gloss yourself up a little bit. Also, I know there's a lot of DIYs going around for like crushing up a highlighter and like mixing it into your lotion and stuff. So if you really wanted to get the look, I'm sure you could find a way to do it for a lot less. All right, now this is one of those ones where I'm just like really two-faced. So They brought out the It Just Comes Naturally collection, which I think Too Faced just loves to be like natural, 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 natural. They have their natural eyes palette and their natural matte palette. Here's the thing. They have redone these palettes so many times. They started out in the boxes, then they went to the tins, now they're gold. They put a little imprint on them. They're very beautiful. And for makeup collectors and people like me who love makeup, it's such a draw to want to buy it anyway, even if we already own it. I don't own either of these palettes, but you know, it's that like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful piece. And for people who want to just buy it, sit on their vanity, or take Instagram photos of it, it's really fun, I'm sure, to own. But the thing that really changed my mind about this was watching Emily Noel 83's video, where she compared the old to the new, and they tweaked some of the colors and then left some of the colors the same. So it's like they keep the name of the palette the same, but they change the colors inside, but they keep some of them. I'm not really sure what the whole thought process behind that is, but I actually liked the original version better. Like, it had more like dusty plums, and then they just took it to more brown, and I was like, well, I think it's kind of more boring now, even though the packaging is cooler. So when I saw that, I was like, yeah, that's definitely going to be a pass for me. It's something I might have been interested in originally. So instead of being tempted to buy one of the natural palettes, I thought, what's something I have that's super basic, super neutral, and this is even super affordable. This is $9 from Shop Hush, and it's also a recent purchase of mine. So as you can see, the entire palette is neutral, but all of these here are matte, and the ones around the edges are shimmery. So I basically have anything I would need covered. Oh, Benefit. I know they love to do these blush boxes, and every time I see these, I'm like, oh, the blush. I swear like at least once a year, I include a Benefit box in my anti-hauls. So they have come out with the Blush Bar palette, which is $58, and it has their brand new Gold Rush. Well, I'll be honest, on Instagram, I saw like Melissa Autry, Mel MPH swatching with her daughter, which was completely adorable, but it just looked like a glitter bomb. I was like, no. I love glitter. I have obviously lots of glitter going on in my eyes. I even like pop and highlight, but I don't know, I'm getting to that mood where I love the matte blush and then the highlight on top. I feel like having highlight and blush, like if I'm gonna do a glittery blush, I just skip the highlight. And I think that would be a highlight for like a gorgeous highlight on deeper skin tones, but for me, I was like, it just didn't really appeal to me. And it has California and Rockateur. But here's the thing is now it has like, I think they only have 4 in there now, where this is the original one. I think the price was still like $58, and and it also has Hoola. So I have Hoola, Coralista, Rockateur, Sugar Bomb, Bella Bamba, and Dandelion. So I think it has Dandelion, Hoola, California, and Gold Rush, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, and then it had this little What's Up over here. So it's funny because I feel like they keep giving us less and less, but the product prices are staying the same or going up. I mean, that's just life. I know it is. It's what every company has to do to keep up with the cost of everything going up. But again, I wouldn't be tempted to buy that. 1, because Benefit's not cruelty free, but 2, I still have this, so you know, putting Dandelion and Hoola in there and Rockateur, I'm like, I already have 3 of those shades. Like, I would be much better off just buying the singles of them if I really wanted them than getting a whole repeat palette. Plus, I'd have to store it all. You know what I'm saying. Okay, so the last Sephora pick would be the Natasha Denona Tropics. Now, I have heard so much about Natasha Denona and how wonderful the formula is, and I haven't been able to bite the bullet and just spend the money on it, but this is a really beautiful palette. It has the same theme of like warms and pinks, and then it has these beautiful like purples and it has a purple and some pops of blue. It has a really pretty deep sparkly blue, and I'm just like, what do I have that would be similar? A bigger palette. And this is a limited edition. I've mentioned this in like probably every anti-haul because I love this palette. It is a Smashbox palette from Holiday Edition, but it's got that really pretty sparkly blue. It's got that little bit of purple, all the warm tones. And I was like, you know, I bet I could probably follow a tutorial pretty closely using this and save myself, what, $100 and something. I'll put it down right here, you know. But I'm just like, you know how expensive these things are. So I'm like, I'm glad to have the money saved. Okay, so now let's add in a couple that aren't from Sephora. First being Laura Lee Cosmetics. Now, I will say that at first glance, I was really happy that I felt like she listened to the feedback of what people were wanting as far as packaging. Has a really nice big mirror. It has a nice layout. There's more shades. I feel like the cover of the packaging is very beautiful. I like the way her logo is embossed. But it's called Nudie Patootie. I'm like, I'm not a Laura Lee fan, so I don't really understand it. I've had one small interaction with her when I made a comment on a video of hers. That was the first video I ever watched. It didn't go over very well, so I've never subscribed to her. I've never watched her. And so I'm just like, cutie, like Nudie Patootie sounds like something you would say to a 2-year-old getting out of the bathtub. Like, oh, you're a Nudie Patootie, you know? And I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't make me think of a high-end luxury makeup product. But anyway, the shades are very beautiful. They're very nice, warm peach. Very, again, like the Soft Glam palette, much more for lighter skin tones. There's really not that deep, dark transition that a woman of color would really need to make those colors work on her. But I know Laura is fair skinned, so she probably picked things that worked for her. It's $45, and when I looked at that, I thought, you know, what is it that I have? And I thought, you know, if I really want something peach, something pinky, something glittery, I love my Carly Bible palette. It's made by another influencer with BH Cosmetics, and it has these really pretty pinks, really shimmery, glittery ones. I mean, if you cover up this dark section right here, because there's no dark really in that palette, I'm like, I think I could, you know, you got the light highlighter shades up there. Like, I could totally dupe it. So I'm good. Kylie and Kourtney Cosmetics are coming out with some new palettes. I do not know the price of these because they haven't been released. They're going to release the 24th. But, you know, there was one with the red and the green that I wasn't too keen on. But the ones that were more neutral, I was like, you know, again, very glittery with a couple mattes. This is my Pure Soiree Diaries. It's got these super ultra glittery shades, which I love, and all these mattes to back it up. And there are these little quads. I was guessing maybe they'd be around $30. I was trying to look at the price of our other products and just guess, but that is a total guess. I have no idea, but it's something I'm going to pass on. And last but not least, coming to Ulta is the Beach Eyeshadow Palette. It is from Urban Decay. Now this is one that I had something that was almost a dupe, which is the City Color Poolside Palette, which I decluttered, but it's okay. So that was one that it was hard for me to piece it together because it has these really pretty, it's almost like Naked Heat meets these like blue colors. So it was really hard for me to piece something together. So since I don't actually have the Poolside palette anymore, I thought, what do I have that kind of has those bronzy colors plus a blue? I came up with this Winky Lux. It has this really beautiful gold, and then it has this blue right here. So I mean, it's kind of there. It's got this burgundy, but it doesn't have that real like rust colors that I'm looking for with the blue. So that was also kind of a hard one that I was like, I can see this being a nice draw. But if you had Naked Heat, I don't think you would really need it because it's really just Naked Heat plus blue. But it does look really pretty. I mean, I'll give you that. And I'm glad that more palettes are bringing out the blues because remember the whole like, haha, we're going to bring out a Tire blue-green palette Tarte and then everyone's like, joke's on you because we really want it. Like that whole thing that happened. I should have included that in my end haul. The blue Tarte palette that everyone wants. No. Anyway, that's everything for my anti-haul today. I hope you guys enjoyed. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.